This morning, for some reason, I got up inspired to make some video content about what it's like to be a creative. I felt that it was creative to do this in inspiration and an inspirational moment, because that's what creativity is about, inspiration. Let's see where the day takes us. And this begins the walk, short walk this morning. Literally, you have no idea how good these smell. This whole hedge, look, all the petals have fallen on the ground. It's crazy, beautiful. I wonder where smells come from. Just sitting at this bit of the beach every morning and enjoying coffee has been, I think, instrumental in changing the way I've seen the world. It's places like this that I find really inspiring, and I think it's helped develop my creativity a lot, because I can sit here and just stare at this sea, this little bridge it's over a little channel, and sometimes it's full of water. There's been pythons in there and all sorts of things. And my imagination runs wild, so it's just simply sitting out looking at this kind of thing. I'm so happy I wore a skirt. It's pretty windy out there. Yeah, so pretty much I've gone from being like somebody, if you like, in life. I was a lawyer, I had status, I knew who I was. Every day I felt like I had something to contribute to life, but that didn't suit me after a while. So, I mean, that's another story. And now I've gotten into this creative journey. I mean, that's one of my pieces up there. Suddenly this happened to me, but I don't know how it works. I am a nobody in this space. I am exploring, and I'm going to take you with me. Let's see where it goes. Becoming wildly creative. This is a photo of me when she was little. Me. She was a different person. She was the creative one. Look at her making blocks. And I think in creativity, sometimes when we can look back at our childhood self, we get a bit of an idea of who we were. There, I think that makes me about 10% more creative with something on my head. It actually makes me feel like I'm a different person. I have a different identity. So yeah, on my journey, and I'll see if I can put a picture in there where I was admitted to legal practice. I was one of the only ones wearing colour. Everyone was wearing black. I had red shoes and a beige suit. Beige. But the funny thing is, yeah, I was different to everybody else. And in that period of time, so that was 2006, then we got along. I studied law at the same time as working in a legal practice. So yeah, I was quite committed. But a little bit later on, I wrote a book called Let's Kiss All the Lawyers Said No One Ever. And I love this book. It was my research into why everyone's so miserable. Let's say it didn't take off. I mean, people liked it, but they don't want to change. If they read this and realize they're very unhappy, they might need to change. I did. I changed. And so then I just wrote Not Guilty. That was, if you can see that, Not Guilty. That was a very recent book. Actually, only just launched late last year. Similar thing. Just like stop being guilty about life. And I think that's the creative path. So my next bit, I sat with all that. I did all this writing and everything else. I've been doing some art over time. You might see some art behind me. And tomorrow I'll take you down to the studio. The studio I'm using at the moment. And we can see that, yeah, I've just been pulling threads of art. But I wondered where it went. I was hanging on to a little bit too much of who I was. So I think, yeah, wearing this idea is a bit helpful. It's like I'm a bit crazy, a bit mixed up. Mixing it up, not mixed up. Here I am mixed up. I've been mixed up. And that's the whole thing. I've been really mixed up and not being able to really express myself. And so I'm figuring out who that is. And I've gotten a few books on the way. I don't know where they are, but I will talk about that because there's been some wonderful creatives that I've been following that have been helpful. Everywhere I've been sort of cherry picking from people's ideas, I suppose. And it's been really, really beneficial to do that. So I'm motivated to do these videos because I'm turning 58 this year. Now, change is scary for anyone. As I said, I went from lawyer, then I trained as a mediator as well. So I had all these skills that looked, professional, and I knew who I was. I could put that suit on every morning, drive my nice car, be who I was being in that world. Shed all that a couple of years ago, and start at square one is a pretty scary idea. So I've done a lot of sort of research over time, but right now I've stripped it way back to what does it look like to be totally creative and let go of any idea of who you thought you were. So here's some things I'm doing at the moment. I've got this figure drawing book because I want to really learn the basics of what it looks like to draw a human. Where that goes, who knows? But at the same time, and this is where the wildly creative part came in, is that I was inspired, and I'm inspired by nature and everything I see around me, because we don't see a lot of our lives. And I'll take you there in a couple of videos time. But I was inspired by this seagull on the beach. And this little seagull had a limp. And I've also had to learn to use Procreate. So that was like another thing. I had to learn how to use digital drawing. Oh, now where's my seagull? This my little friend is Spangle, and he's a seagull with a limp. And I saw him on the beach, and he inspired me because I went down to the same beach a couple of days time, and he's still wandering around like nothing bothered him. And so I had to paint him, and that's on Procreate, but that is, I've cut and paste out of a painting. So I've learned how to do all these really cool skills, but still, what does that mean? Does it earn me money? Where is it going to go? Maybe come on the journey with me. Let's get wildly creative. I think creatives are so undervalued in society, yet I think creatives are the way forward, because when we're not being creative, we're just repeating the same old. We're doing what someone else told us. And whilst that's helpful sometimes, I don't think it's freeing, and it's the journey I had to take anyway. So what I'm about to start on is I've got a children's book. Yes, if there's anything going to be wildly creative, that's words that come out of children's stories. I've been struggling with this story because I've been too adult in it. So I just want to talk to other creatives, see how they do it. I know there's a great pull when you're a creative, and let's see where it goes. Come along for the ride. Subscribe if you're interested in how this might look. Subscribe. I'd appreciate your company. Thanks. And wear something cool, though. Very cool.